Hi, my name is Mike, and I'm a technical product marketing manager at Forward Networks. Today, we will talk about let and group by and see how to use them to organize your query results. Let's talk about let. Let is a term that will enable you to write more readable expressions by assigning a name to the expression. Think of it like a variable. A practical example is, let's say you want to find all the versions of code running on a specific hardware vendor. Before using let, it would look something like this. So create a new query. We'll do let group by. And if we look at the query, it looks like this. So for each device and network devices, where this long where string, device, platform OS, matches OS version, blah, 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 and then we select and return, and we get what we want. That doesn't look clean. Someone else could be coming into here and they could look at it and be like, okay, what are you trying to do? Now using let, we can change it to this. So we're assigning variables to version and to OS, and then we're saying where the OS is in Arista device and matches the version with a string that is anything that is 4.15. And when we run it, we get the same results back. Like using any variable, this makes the query more readable. And anyone who comes to look at it later on will know exactly what you're trying to do with your versions of code. Next is group by. So group by is a way to group items that share a common property. What exactly do we mean by that? So let's say you wanted to group interface names by their operational statuses. Using group by will actually let you take the operational status and the interface names and associate all the interface names that match the specific operational status. It's tricky to understand at first, but what it looks like in practice, let me type this, let me get this sample config in. So you're gonna do group, what am I grouping, as the variable name you're gonna use. And variable names in NQE could be anything you want them to be. What you'll see is I tend to use what I'm grouping and what I'm aggregating as the variable names to make it easier to understand. So group, what am I grouping as a group variable by the aggregate that I'm grouping to and the aggregate variable. So in this case, if we wanted to group all interface names by their operational status, what we would do is we would run this NQE query, where we're taking all device names, we're assigning a variable to device name, and then for each interface and device interfaces, we want to group the interface name, the variable name is interface names, by the operational status, which we're calling operational status. If we go to execute this, we see the query doesn't work, which is one thing to keep in mind when you're using group by. So when you create your group by statement, what you're doing is you're changing the scope of the variables defined. So the only variables that you can call back are the variables that you're using in your group by statement. So if we comment out device name and hit execute again, now we can see that all of our names, that all of our interface names are now being grouped by their operational status. But what if you did need to access other variables? Like you were looking at platform for some reason, or you wanted to get the device name, or you wanted to get some other specific data that you wanted to also be grouped in here so you know what's going on. In that instance, you can actually take this group by expression and assign it to a let statement. So let's take that. Bear with me 1 second. My keyboard is acting up. All right, so let's prettify this so we can take a look at it. So we want, for each device, network devices, we're going to do the same thing where we're going to assign a variable to the device name, and then we're using let to assign our group by to a variable. And now when you do that, you're doing a nested for each, which you have to wrap in brackets. And then it also needs a select statement. So what are you going to return? Because now this turns into a list, because now it's a list of stuff to group by, we have to also iterate over that too. So we can pull out the specific parts that we wanted to get. So the interface name and then the operational status. So our return statement is going to be the device name, the interface status, the interface name, so the entry interface. So we're correlating the for each variable to the select variable. And then operational status is the same. So entry for the operational return. When we hit execute, now we can see that by device, we have the interfaces that are up and down, and then we can filter based upon up, down, and then do what we want to do normally. Hit these 3 hamburgers, download it as an XLS or a CSV. Just like that, we took a massive data set to results that are actionable. This actionable data can be shared with other teams or used as a starting point for more complex queries. Imagine the possibilities that this opens. What use cases have you discovered that you can use either let or group by or use them together? Share your queries or stories in the comments below. Thank you for watching and have a great day.